All right, hello. I believe the voice this is the clean voice modulation. We opened up tonight with me asking you all, does this voice sound better to you, or would you prefer my voice not be modulated like you're hearing it now? This is 100% raw matte voice. This is a cleaned up version of my voice through the voice modulation software. And if you have a favorite, hopefully it's coming through because I can't hear my own voice. Um, this is this should be. Hang on, let me see. I can't hear myself, but you'll hear me again. Mic test. Yep. All right. So this is my voice on. Voice modulation clean. Voice modulation off. This should be just my voice. Try again, but with a Scottish accent. Yep. That's the one, Bane.
Oh, there we go. That's the one, Bane. Yes. A little bit of voice mod to spice things up. Though, speaking through it does require a little bit of practice, I'd say.
So clean. This is the clean voice mod that you should be hearing. The clean voice mod is on. Now you should only be hearing my normal dulcet tones. Normal voice, raw matte voice, modulated matte voice, not raw matte voice. Twitch crashed when that happened. Oh no. So y'all were talking about stout beers. Try again with Scottish accent. Delport says the cleaned up version is slightly clearer, but not enough to be important. If you are recording videos, though, should use the clean mod. Okay. Yep. And so hello voice mod on again. It is the clean mod is currently on. The mod is crisper, but the regular comes out slightly warmer, says Delport. This should be warm to you. This is my warm, natural voice. You like normal raw matte better, says Sugar Plum. Myar says, "Oh, I donated, wasn't sure." So yeah, Myar, you threw $10 in here. If you look at chat, if you would like a capsule, well, it's not going to show up in this chat here, but if you look in your chat, the menu of capsules, how it works, there should be a blurb about that over in chat. Vex says your voice is always warm, like a hug or a sweater. Aw. Delport says it's like the difference between conversational tones versus a projecting voice. Ah, okay. That makes sense. And I appreciate that kind of feedback. So yeah, Miar, so $10 did go in. If you wanted one capsule is 22. Now what we can do if your battery is low, we can float that for later if you want to throw in more and get one or more capsules. The capsule system is also explained on our Discord if you wanted to go there and read about it. Just ask someone for help if you need it. But for everyone there, if Miar wants to get in, we're gonna float his $10 until we can get a capsule set up for him. Now, before we begin our delve back into Cyberpunk, yes, you would need $12 more in if you want one capsule. Though the capsules are priced that if you buy them in bulk, it's cheaper. So before we get back to Cyberpunk, we are going to pull the 2 prize capsules that Bane has furnished to you all. Remember, you have to be 18 plus to get in. If you're not on our Discord, please join, because that way we can communicate about to whom and where to get your prize or prizes. Hi, Heretic Trance. But I'm going to count down from 20 and then close entries to the giveaway called Bane's Capsule Dispensing Hands. Here we go. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and close giveaway with 19 people having entered. That's a little bit greater than a 5% chance. Okay. Our first winner of a capsule is Daily. Hey, so there we go. Bane had hoped for Daily, and we actually have a brand new emote. Oh, all right, Miar. I'll ask you which type of capsule you'd like. Daily, there is a special emote for any time this happens with you or Raven. We have, yep. So in the Glooblins colors, we have a rigged emote. And of course, the GG is capitalized for good grab. You know, good game, good grab. All right, let's find out what Daily, what do you have here? 1, 2. Whoa, hang on. I lost one. This is filled back up to 50. So, it's full. I'll try and carefully stir it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my capsule. I'll open this up in a moment. Okay, Daily has a purple capsule. Pardon, it's like I live with 2 cats, right? In fact, I was a little bit late coming back because I went to go pet Nisa, who's sleeping out elsewhere. And she's like, she gave me the mom treatment. Like, you're not going back in there looking like this. You know how you get like the mom spit of like, come on, just get, you got to fix your hair. I'm petting her, and she starts licking my arms. Like, you are not going back there looking like that, young man. And so I'm like, all right, well, do what you got to do, I guess. So we have a purple capsule for Daily. And inside is... Oh. Daily, I think you're going to like this prize because of reasons. Daily, you have won... Oh, come on. You have won 2 sets of harpies from Reaper Miniatures. Two sets of harpies from Reaper Miniatures. Hi, Osric. Where did my little, where'd my sticky notes go? I swear, I clean stuff up and then things go missing because they're not where I normally keep them in the chaos. Has that happened to you all out there? Alright, well, you know what I'll do? Is I have a rubber band here. I'll write Daly's name on the rubber on the slip and put it in with the rubber band. Now let me get your name on the electronic the electronic sheet here. Where did these go? There we go. Okay, let's draw our second winner. And our second winner is courtesy of Bane's Capsule Dispensing Hands. Cloaking Dust. Congratulations, Cloaking Dust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cloaking Dust has a yellow capsule. So there you go, Bane. One less for you to worry about. And inside the yellow capsule, you have a figurine of adorable power, a goblin. So we have a little yellow critter inside of a yellow capsule here. Enjoy your gobbo. Look at that cute little duder. There we go. I slipped your name onto the tag here to make sure that there's a physical tag to go along with the electronic record in case one or the other, well, something happens to it. Okay. Now, Miar, you did get a capsule. You have two choices, Miar. Two choices. One, you can get what I call a snack bowl. A snack bowl is a capsule that will have pre-painted figures in it. Usually, it's a squad of figures or a singularly rare and expensive pre-painted figure, such as a rare from one of the pre-painted sets. Or there could be something like there could be a prize goblin inside, which means you get a custom painted mini from Darkwolf or me. And sometimes there's other things in there too, like you might get a ticket that you can redeem for a box of pre-painted minis of your choice, etc., etc. Okay? That's the snack bowl capsules. Or you could get the main course capsules that have a variety of different things. Unpainted minis, dice sets, paint sets, dice bags, and other things. Like, there's even a coupon for a Dwarven Ration Bermudan rum cake in there too. So Mjar, I would like you to tell me, would you like a snack bowl capsule, or would you like a main course capsule? And while you decide, I'm going to open up my capsule. It's a little crushed already, but that's fine. The fortune should still be good, right? The cookie is tasty enough. Very crunchy. Oh, you want to donate it? Sure, then Mjar, what I'll do, I will pull a third name from this giveaway, and they will receive a snack bowl capsule. Is that all right by you? Looks like on my piece of paper here, I will always have good luck in my personal affairs, and if I want to be fine, I'm Jing. Well, I'd like to think that this extension of the store is a personal thing, and that I've had great fortune in taking who I am and what I do through Twitch to meet all of you. And in that case, well, I think the fortune cookie is correct. This pleases you? All right then, Mjar. Our third winner, and this winner is going to receive a snack bowl capsule. So here, let me get these other capsules in the right place. The snack bowl capsule is going to Kragar. So congratulations, Kragar, Xbox, and Dingo Panic. Thank you very much for posting those capsules. And hey, all of you who are followers, let alone subscribers, you have those emotes and more. So Kragar, unfortunately, I don't think I have the strength to open up another capsule unless I have more than 2 people of 60 who can get excited for such a generous thing that Bane and Mjar have done for you all. There's Heretic Trance, Mjar, Dingo Panic, Kragar, in with that piece of paper. Yeah, you can get paper in these. Yep, and Mjar, you and others who get these capsules absolutely are the ones to keep it going and to keep it growing. All right, that's a lot of love and luck. I mean, y'all can keep it flowing. Let's pull a capsule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a purple capsule for Kragar. And inside Kragar's purple capsule... Oh, gnarly. Kragar, you have 3 pieces of gum that I chewed up. And by that I mean you have 2 lemures. These are the frontline kind of shock trooper fodder devils. So you have a squad of lemures. And let me get your name on those. Yeah, Goopy Devils. Lemure. Blood and Pavement also in with the capsules. Thank you, Bap. Hey, I hope it was a good game. What happened, if you're willing to share? All right, are there any others who would like to get capsules for themselves or to have me donate to others? This is a good time. This is a good time to get in on this before I begin part 2 of the workshop. You can get the capsules during the workshop. I just can't pull them until after the workshop ends. Running Icewind Dale, players exploring a lost Netheril Spire, playing with Making Illusions Real. You know, yeah, just hashtag just D&D things. Absolutely. Miar, if you want a capsule for yourself, it's the same. You just tell me. So Miar, here, let me bring it up. All right. So in the chat command. For all of you, it's not going to show up here because bot commands don't show up here. It says the new capsule structure featuring bulk purchase savings. Capsules can be personal or directed to be given away. So you tell me what you want done with the capsules that you get. Do you want them for yourself, or do you want me to give them away on your behalf? Or if you get multiple capsules, would you like to split some? If you get 10 capsules, do you want 5 for yourself and 5 for me to give away? You tell me. The bulk pricing is 1 for 22, 2 for 42, 3 for 62, 5 for 102, 10 for 198, or the full box of 50 for 951. Yep. So you direct me if you want them, if you want me to give them away, and which kind of a capsule would you like? Would you like the pre-painted squad capsules, the snack bowls? Right? Snacks, you get a bunch of little things. Or do you want the main course, the big items, which are multiple packs of things or singularly large items, like the figurine of Adorable Power? Keys, we've had that happen before where people have just got an entire box of capsules. And they're both types are priced the same, so you can mix and match if you wanted to. Oh yeah, people have asked, so what happens, Keys, is I will pack 2 different boxes of the same tier, and I will ask the person who wanted a full box, would you like A or B? So that there's still a mystery to it. I'll provide clues as to what is in each. Then the person who wants a full box will choose if they want box A of capsules or box B of capsules. So there's still some choice and mystery involved, but they absolutely get 50 capsules worth of stuff. I try to have it be, Keys. I want it to be fun. I always want there to be awesome prizes. And remember that you all can trade your prizes between each other as well. If you get something that you don't necessarily like, there will be someone who will trade you for it. The community is very large. A lot of people like different things. And that's another feature that I want to offer you all with this. All right. Unless any of you go, wait, hold up, I want a capsule. I'm going to close the giveaway. I can open a new one if necessary. I'm going to close the giveaway, and we're going to get into Friday Night Firefight, as I'm going to go through the basics of combat with you all. So let's mark this as complete. And I can always open up a new one if necessary. All right, then let's begin, shall we? Yes, we shall. Good response, everyone. Friday Night Firefight on a Friday night, of all things, too. In role-playing, the board is your imagination. The environment is described to you by the GM, and it's up to you to imagine in your mind's eye where everything is, based on those descriptions. Although grid maps and miniatures are sometimes used as visual aids in more complex situations. We've already discussed how time flows in a Cyberpunk Red game. Now let's talk about when things get violent or very specific. This is when you absolutely need to know who's faster, and a skill check isn't gonna cut it. You are definitely in combat. Roll initiative. Alright, question for you all. Do you remember, how do you roll initiative in Cyberpunk Red? Let's see it up here, everyone. What is initiative in Cyberpunk Red? It's on the screen, too, if you need help. There we go. Reflexes plus D10. Oh, gee, I wish it was reflex just plus 10 static. That'd be nice, right? All right. We're mostly there, chat. We're mostly there. We did it. When a combat starts, everyone rolls initiative. Initiative equals reflex plus 1d10. All participants in the combat place themselves according to their initiative roll into what we call an initiative queue, in descending order. Resolve ties by rolling again until a higher number wins. Combat proceeds in initiative queue order, with each entity in the initiative queue getting a turn. When the bottom is reached, the initiative queue starts from the top in a new round. Nice and easy, bread and butter. This is just like D&D and a lot of other systems. Grogrin, or, yes, reflex plus 1d20 divided by 2. Yes, here, well, I'm gonna give you a nerd face, Grogrin. Now remember, on your turn, you get one move action and one other action, which could be a second move action if you wanted to, okay? And what were those actions again, everyone? Well, Matt, we'd be glad to tell you. You could take a move action, an attack action. You could choke someone. Wait, we didn't talk about choking someone. Ah, well. We're not just talking about eating a slice of pizza, are we? Mm-mm. There's a couple extra things you could do with your actions. You could choke an opponent you have grabbed. You can equip or drop a shield. You can get into a vehicle. Although this bleeds back into the prior conversation, but can we get out of a vehicle too? You can get up and you can grab. Remember, 3 seconds per round in Cyberpunk, not 6. You can hold your action. You can equip an opponent you have grabbed as a human shield. You can reload. It's not as easy as shooting off screen to reload. You can run, start a vehicle. You can stabilize someone. You can throw someone. Use net actions. Use an object. Use a skill. Or you can have a vehicle maneuver. Do you have to memorize all these? No, absolutely not. I'm not presenting all of these to you like, if you don't know this, just give up right now. I'm sorry, this game's not for you. You won't always do this stuff. Don't worry if your eyes are starting to roll in the back of your head and you go, well, too much. What do? We roll initiative, and on your turn, you get to move and take an action. And there's a lot of different actions that you can always go back and reference. Just like in any other game, don't let this get you frustrated. How long have I been playing and running D&D, and I still need to look at a list of options that are available? Okay, remember, how far you can move is your move times 2. So Grease here can move 10 yards or meters, depending on the scale that you want to assign to your maps. Okay? And every 1 inch square on a classical grid map is 2 yards or 2 meters. So effectively, what does that mean? You could move 5 squares. Wink, wink. Okay? Making it kind of easy in that regard. If you want to talk square movement, or if you want to play on a hex, you can move a number of squares equal to your move. Though, if you want the minutia of how close you are, because it could come in handy, you're moving 10 yards or 10 meters closer to something or someone. When you're prone, you can't use a move action until you use the get up action. Makes sense. Split movement and rate of fire. In combat in Cyberpunk Red is fast-paced and fluid. Whenever you move using your move action, you can take your action in the middle of that move action and then keep moving afterwards. You can do the same thing in D&D 5e. We call this splitting, and it's not just for the move actions. Some types of attacks are faster than others, capable of striking or shooting twice with a single attack action. These are called 2 rate of fire attacks, or 2 ROF, rate of fire. All attacks from 2 ROF sources can be split across a move action. You can move, shoot, move, shoot, move. You can even make a single attack from each of 2 different 2 ROF sources by splitting your 2 attacks across the 2 of them, allowing them both to be used in a single turn. So yes, you can use the heavy pistol in your left hand to take a shot down the hallway, then walk down that disgusting hallway to stab your victim with the machete in your right hand. By the way, there's a fun tone to the writing. Attacks from 1 ROF sources are slower and take your whole attack action, but you can still split movement around them. Got it? Just like in D&D. If you've played D&D, this should not be too complex. You can attack while you're moving the full distance. Swimming, climbing, and jumping with a running start All cost 2 meters or yards of movement for every meter or yard traveled, or 2 squares for every 1 square. When jumping from standing, you can clear half the distance that you could with a running start. Does that sound familiar also? Well then, if you've played D&D, this is essentially the same thing. I mean, there's not a strength score, but the concept between a standing jump and a running jump, right? You can jump higher and longer with a running start. So see taking damage later in this section for more on falling and drowning. But it's a 2-for-1, and you get that in D&D as well. If you're swimming and you don't have a swim speed, it's a 2-for-1. If you're climbing and don't have a climb speed, it's a 2-for-1 in D&D. It's a 2-for-1 in Cyberpunk Red. We still good? We still good? Not too hard, right? At a maximum of 1 rate of fire, you can aim a single ranged or melee attack by taking your entire action and a -8 to your check to aim for any of these special areas. If you hit, you deal the attack's damage as normal, and you also get an additional effect based on the special area you aimed for. Alright, so every turn, if you want to assign a -8 to yourself, this is you deciding this. You can aim for, it's a called shot, right? A -8 for a called shot. And if you aim for the head, multiply the damage it gets through your target's head armor by 2. Held item, leg, I'm not going to get into the minutia. But if you want to take a specific shot, it's a -8, and something will happen. Drawing an easily accessible weapon into a free hand isn't an action. Dropping a held weapon to the ground isn't an action, but stowing it on your person is an action. One exception, equipping and dropping a shield takes an action. And that's a little bit later. That's because, the shield... A shield... Have any of you held a shield before? Let alone used it, even if it's in a boffer fight? There's a reason why, to get the effectiveness of the shield, it takes either training in D&D, or it takes an action to brace it in Pathfinder, or in other systems, because a shield isn't just something you fling around wildly. You position it, or you strategically move it into different positions to try and block strikes, right? Reload! Sometimes you empty the clip. If any of you own guns, clip is used. And in this case, I mean, maybe the gun actually has a clip and uses it. I get a lot of you are going, no, it's a magazine. It's a magazine and not a clip. Also, what is the common term for magazine in a lot of street slang, or for people who might not be aficionados of guns? They'll call them clips. And especially in a megapolis like Night City, it's going to be common. So don't consider this immersing yourself, because you're going to see clip used a lot instead of magazine. You can use an action to fully reload and replace a magazine. Did you hold on? With a single ammunition type. You can't mix ammunition types in a magazine. Ranged combat includes any attack at a distance. Let's look at what's in offer in the dark future. Not gonna worry about this. This is self-descriptive. That's for you if you're going shopping for your character to consider. Don't worry about all of the terms here. And then you go, oh, no, oh, charts, get out of here. Stop it. Vale says each round is a set of 3 seconds. The way the server I'm in, we rule dropping an item free, but picking it up as an action. Yeah, and I can see that as a house rule, Vale, because you have to stoop down and grab it and not accidentally kick it, or you have to pick it up properly and not pick it up by the barrel instead of by the handle, you know, by the grip. So. So, there's a lot here. Oh no, I have to memorize all this? No. Have any of you ever memorized the equipment charts in D&D? And before any of you say yes, maybe you did, and I'm going to give you a nerd face up here. And you deserve it. That's actually a compliment. You don't have to memorize the stat of every weapon in this game, just like you certainly don't memorize the stat of every weapon in D&D or Pathfinder or other games. Just because you see this does not mean, I've never played this before. Am I expected to remember that a very heavy pistol is 46 damage? No. That's not reasonable. Yeah, or the stats of every monster. Oh no, Kragar. Kragar's giving the Mufu. Uh-oh. Kragar, are you a big nerd? Yeah, or the spells. Oh my gosh. Wait, you can't conceal a grenade launcher? What the heck? I am out, says Sierra Echo. Sierra Echo says heck. Yeah, Vale, you want the stats of every... yeah. Yeah, or the stat of every weapon in Bordeltonk. Exactly, Noctis. So, if you see this and you're going... It's fine. It's cool. Why don't we just look at something like a medium pistol? I only want you to concern yourself with this line. Okay? A medium pistol doesn't have any alternative fire modes, okay? No special modes. This isn't Dead Space. This is a medium pistol. This would be like a standard issue, like a 9mm pistol, okay? To shoot it, you need the handgun skill, okay? We're on the same page so far, right? A single shot of damage from a medium pistol, 2d6. Got it, 2d6. A standard magazine. Oh, he didn't keep calling them clips, but it will be referred to as clips here and there. It's fine because you're gonna hear that in the lingo. 12. Wait, I have to monitor my ammo counts? Yes. So if this is a speed bump for you, you do need to monitor your ammo. Because most everyone has ranged weapons that will shoot ammo. And it's important because there are auto-fire weapons, or to do some sort of a technique like set up an Overwatch, you need a minimum of 10 bullets available. So yes, there is a little bit more accounting than perhaps what many of you might be used to in other systems like Pathfinder or D&D, where it's just kind of presumed that you have all the arrows that you need. Now, do some DMs force you to account for your arrows and sling bullets and everything? Absolutely. But you do need to track that. You do need to track that stuff here. Longer than 5 characters, it's not slang, says Vale. Or 6 rounds of fire with a medium pistol, 4 with a heavy... Yeah, exactly. A Gluki or a Siggy? Are we talking about Pokemon, or... If you've got a big enough trench coat, you can hide any weapon, says Kragar. Dingo Panic says, actually, you can, but have inside your arm. Well, ready. Just like there's magic items in D&D, you will find magic items of a sort also in Cyberpunk. So don't worry. So now we come over to rate of fire. This means that every turn, Every turn you have, you get to shoot twice if you would like. That's also why you have to track your ammo, okay? And remember, you can split your moving and your shooting. You only need one hand. So if you want, you can go 2 pistol bang bang. And you can play Equilibrium if you want, okay? You can play Equilibrium, the role-playing game, if you want, okay? So you can go 2 pistol bang bang with medium pistols if you want. But can you do that with a shotgun? No, because it takes 2 hands. Now, if you so happen to have extra hands, well, now we're talking about something, right? Yep, pretend it's a John Woo film and shoot like there's no tomorrow. I'm familiar with this magic for the gathering, says Ready to Nap. Can this item be concealed? Yes. And how much does it cost? 50 euro bucks. A heavy pistol is a hundo. Now, so is a very heavy pistol, but what do you lose? It costs the same amount, but you lose the ability to conceal it. And it can only fire once. Oh, okay. Are we seeing a little bit of the trade-off? Maybe our eyes are starting to uncross a little bit when we're looking at this chart. If you want to shoot a sniper rifle, someone asked, can you build a net runner that is a sniper? Uh-huh. Just make sure you have the shoulder arms skill, as that is the skill that you'll be using to shoot your sniper rifle. And we follow all of this across because you need to know this stuff in case there was a firefight. I would have to suspend disbelief in this game, or I would be a real life nerd, or I would be a real life nerd problem for sure. Okay, so you get the idea, and you see how weapons work, and how you can move and shoot, or do what you will. Okay. Okay. So how do we do it? How do you 2 pistol bang bang? Ranged combat is resolved with the attacker's reflex plus the relevant weapon skill. And why does it say relevant? Because heavy weapons, archery, shoulder arms, handgun. If you want to be a pro at all of these, you're going to be dumping a lot of your points into these 4 different skills. So, attacker's reflex. Attacker's reflex. Plus the relevant skill. In fact, let's go to fighting. Oh no, this person... Oh, ranged weapon. Here we go. Ranged weapon. Archery, auto fire, handgun. Oh, it looks like Grease is... Grease is more of a handgun operator, right? And it's not that he can't shoot other types of weapons. He's just not as good or as practiced. So Grease having a level 6 skill in handgun plus reflex. You see it down here? 6 plus 7 is 13. Versus the Defender's difficulty value, that's what DV stands for. In Dungeons and Dragons, we call it DC or AC. Right? AC, DC, armor class or difficulty class. In Cyberpunk, we have difficulty value. The Defender's difficulty value is determined by the range to the target and weapon, or the defender's dexterity plus evasion plus D10. With a special note, a defender with a reflex of 8 or higher can choose to attempt to dodge a ranged attack instead of using the range table to determine the difficulty value. My brain is melting. What? Attack roll versus defense roll. If you're shooting at someone, in particular one who can dodge out of the way. Or just an attack roll versus a difficulty value. Just like you're trying to hit an AC in Dungeons and Dragons, right? You roll your d20 plus your attack modifier, and you want to meet or beat the armor class. In Cyberpunk Red, you make your attack roll, which is your reflex plus skill, right? Your stat plus skill plus a d10 against are you shooting at something or someone? And your game master will tell you against a static difficulty value, or is this a contested roll? And the choice only comes in if someone has a reflex of 8 or higher. Otherwise, the static is you're shooting at someone. Someone will always be a... well, not necessarily always. How do I want to say this? If someone can get out of the way, this is how it can be done. Or maybe there's something situational where they're very aware and they can just try and dodge if they don't want to take the range value instead. Okay? Your GM will help you with this. If you beat, remember in Cyberpunk Red, it's not meet or beat. You must beat the difficulty value because the defender wins in a tie. You damage the defender. And what happens with that? We'll get to it, don't worry. So, you want a pew-pew? Attacker's reflex plus relevant weapon skill plus D10 versus the defender's difficulty value, which is the range to the target and the weapon used, or if they get a chance to actually actively dodge out of the way, it's Dex plus evasion plus D10. Now, in Roll20, if you take a look here, Grease fired his heavy pistol. You see, he scored a 21. And that's the breakdown of it, okay? With the heavy pistol, if he was firing at something that was 6 yards away, to hit it, it's only a 13. If it's a little bit further, it's a 15. If it's a little bit further, it's a 20. And once a target is 200 or more meters away, there's no shooting, unless your GM specifically says, yeah, I guess in this case you can. And then the damage that was rolled was 14. Because it's a 3d6 weapon. You want to flatline some gonks, says Dingo Panic? Tio Mosfrio, what happened in your D&D game? You're welcome to share. So, the single shot difficulty values based on range. Are you taking one shot with a pistol? With a submachine gun? With a shotgun with a slug? Etc., etc. You don't need to memorize this. There are cheat sheets, there are things that can help you with this. And over time, you'll probably get to just learn this chart anyway. Because you're probably going to be shooting a lot of guns in Cyberpunk Red. Do not let these numbers make your head swim and just go, what? What's going on? Let me show you something very interesting, though. Look at what happens if you shoot with a sniper rifle. What do you see here, everyone? What do you see happening if you're wielding a sniper rifle in this game? Only landed one hit tonight, and it was my awakened tree, but we defeated number 2 in Curse of Strahd. Party did well, and I sponged a lot of hits for the party. Yeah, there you go, Reddy. You want to be a good ways away, Vale. Yep. You might be. Look at this. The sniper rifle, if you bring a sniper rifle to a close combat, if someone is 0 to 6 yards away, you have to hit a 30 or better because this weapon isn't made for close combat. Meanwhile, take a look at the shotty. It's only a 13 to hit super close. But if you want to hit 100 yards away, well, 101, you need a 35 because shotguns with slugs are not meant to snipe. Yeah, you notice that there's a sweet spot on it, right? Right here. 100 yards, football field away. Tio, by you contributing your hit points, you contributed. Every time you were hit, one of your party members wasn't, and you were allowing them to fight harder for longer. You had your Curse of Strahd also bad Espada. Oh, well, I hope it was a lot of fun for you. In Cyberpunk Red, auto-fire has been reworked for speed of play. Instead of directly modeling individual bullets, we've moved to modeling patterns of bullets. Being skilled at keeping an automatic gun on target allows you to bring out the best in auto-fire. When you use auto-fire, it costs an action and 10 bullets. Or if you don't have 10 bullets remaining in your clip, you can't use auto-fire. You use the auto-fire skill instead of the weapon's typical weapon skill. Additionally, instead of the weapon's entry on the range table, you use its entry on the auto-fire range table. Makes sense, because one bullet lined up is more difficult than trying to brace your wrist, even if it's a 3-round burst or more. Pardon. Whoops. Now, I'm not going to get into the minutia of auto-fire, of shooting with suppressive fire, using explosives, catching people on fire, using poisons. There's a lot of ways that you can set this up, okay? And it's not like each of these is some arcane, it takes a chapter to explain itself. There's a lot here, and I want to make sure we're addressing the basics. Do you want to go pew-pew? If you want to go pew-pew, what was it again? But it's giving you some examples here of how shotguns work, explosives. If you want to get into the minutia of it, there's minutia, okay? Melee combat. Here we go. You wanna stabby stab? Similar setup to ranged weapons. Combat knife, tomahawk, baseball bat, crowbar, machete, lead pipe, sword, spiked bat, chainsaw, sledgehammer, helicopter blades, a naginata. You notice that this is set up very similarly. And if you want to stab someone or bash someone, what do? Melee is off of your dex. Now there's not strength as we know it in D&D in Cyberpunk Red, okay? So if you're swinging a bat in D&D, that's off of strength. If you're swinging a bat in Cyberpunk, it's off of dex. In Dungeons and Dragons, if you're shooting a crossbow, it's dex. In Cyberpunk, if you're shooting a crossbow, it's reflex. So, we have the attacker's dex plus the relevant melee attack skill plus D10. Same as everything else, okay? Stat, skill, D10. That's for eating pizza, shooting a handgun, and swinging a bat with nails in it, okay? Stat, skill, D10, and if there's conditional modifiers, throw those in too. Versus the defender's dex plus evasion plus 1d10. They use body for strength checks, says Dingo. Rosewolf says, "Oh, how was it? Where are you guys at? Oh, for the Strahd game. Yeah, hey, spill the beans to Rosewolf. Same pattern. Stat, skill, D10. Stat, skill, D10. Stat, skill, D10. In this case, it's Dex, skill, D10. And the person you're attacking is going to get to evade this. You don't have to be a monk to get particular damage if you just want to brawl and throw fisticuffs. Use the brawling skill to attack. You want to grab? This will tell you how to grab. Do you want to choke? This will tell you how to choke. Do you want to throw? This will tell you how to throw. Why would you want to do this? Check it out. The damage ignores the defender's armor and doesn't ablate it. What does that mean? We'll get to it. Hold on. So, just like in D&D, and maybe you don't always do this, you can push, pull, grab, throw, etc. And there are different ways to do this, just like you can set up suppressive fire or whatever. I'm not going to get into the minutia. You know the basics, and it's all right here to read about if you want to know how down and dirty you can get. Because martial arts is its own thing. If you want to perform martial arts, here we go. Here's how you do martial arts. Look at that. It's a stat plus skill plus D10. Interesting. Okay, then. Now, in this case, because you're doing some off-the-wall stuff, it could have a difficulty value instead of just being able to be evaded. You can practice some Aikido, some Judo, You want a bone-breaking strike from karate? Would you like to practice some taekwondo? There are other things that can come up in combat. Being on fire, drowning and asphyxiation, electrocution. I'm not going to get into the details here. Just like in D&D, you want to know how long you hold your breath? In that circumstance? Look it up in the circumstance. But there are rules for it. Falling damage. Poison and drugs. Radiation. So, we've rolled initiative, we've moved to where we need to be, and you all know that stat plus skill plus D10 will hopefully inflict damage on a hit. And you successfully hit if you beat the opposed roll or the difficulty value depending on the circumstance. Nice and easy. We're keeping it easy. We're keeping it. This is most of your combat. Stat, skill, D10 to exceed the opposing roll or the difficulty value. If you wanna get into, well, I have a gun that fires this way, well, I'm jumping over a pit of radiation, and you can have all of the thought experiments you want, but not right now. Not, or at least, like, I won't present all of that in that right now, okay? It talked about armor, though, because body armor can be very important. You might want to check and see if there's a way to put something between you and all that badness that's about to pulp your body. Things like taking cover, using shields, or some unlucky booster who you got a good grip on, and armor. The golden rules of cover. You are considered to be in cover if you are fully behind something that could stop a bullet. If they have line of sight on you, you aren't in cover. There is no partial cover. Pardon me. It can either stop a bullet or it can't. If it cannot stop a bullet, it provides no cover and thus has no hit points. A wooden crate is not going to stop a bullet in most instances, though of course your GM might determine one way or the other. Could a wooden crate stop an arrow if someone's trying to fire an arrow at you? Well, then you might have cover from an arrow. Anyway, nothing is stopping your enemy from moving up to reestablish line of sight on you, rendering what was previously cover for you pointless. So make sure that your plan is better than their plan. Here's some different ways of cover. You can read about the minutia, but cover is good because it's either can you be attacked or not. And cover is effectively giving you these bonus hit points because this has to be chewed through, right? I know I said a wooden crate. I mean, in this case, it might, 5 if it's thin, 20 if it's thick. What if you hide behind a car door, a bank vault door, a hydrant, an engine block, an office wall, something like that? There's a lot here, and the circumstances will come up when they do. But the reason why cover is important to consider is because you don't have healing magic, right? I can't get you to full hit points by casting a spell in this game. Now, there are ways to recover more quickly from injuries and to prevent someone from just bleeding out. But you need to mitigate as much damage as possible. Cover is, if someone just can't get damage on you or can't see you, awesome. You don't want damage at all. Please don't take damage in this game. A shield is a movable source of cover, and while you wield a shield with hit points remaining, you are considered to be in cover. When attacked by a target that you can see, you can interpose the shield between yourself and the attack. If you choose to do so, you cannot dodge the attack at all, though a ranged attack can still miss you due to your opponent's poor marksmanship. You have something like a bulletproof shield, or, in this game, wield a corpse. Your friend didn't make it? Well, your friend can help you make it. A shield made of meat used to be a person. Body stat the corpse had in life, and the cost depends on how many bullets you went through. There's a sense of humor to the writing. Don't approach this like there's not flexibility or a wink and a nod from the author that maybe you thought about doing this before. There's a way that if you have someone grappled, bring them around as a human shield. Yeah. The jumpstart rules are a little bit different than the full rules. I forget if there's an FAQ or something about that, but for the most part, it overlaps. It's still a very good intro to Cyberpunk Red. All right. This is more of the juicy, or rather, you don't want this to juice you. Your armor. Your armor will reduce damage that is incoming. And how does that work? Your armor has stopping power. If you are wearing Kevlar, that can be made into clothes, vest, jackets, so you work with your GM how you want your Kevlar, okay? Do you want a Kevlar bikini? Have a Kevlar bikini in the cyberpunk world. Kevlar has a stopping power of 7. So, I hit you, right? I rolled initiative, I go first, I moved, and I shot. I rolled my stat, plus skill, plus D10, and let's say I needed a 15 to hit you, and I hit a 16. Okay? Cool. My gun deals, let's say it's 2d6, and I roll a 7. That's the most common number on 2d6. Your Kevlar has damage stopping power of 7. What does that mean? Anyone in chat? If I shot you with a pistol that dealt 7 damage, your Kevlar has a stopping power of 7. What does that mean? Correct. 0 damage was dealt. Yep, exactly, Blood and Pavement. Now, let's say... Yep, see, daily, and isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient that they actually hit the one place your Kevlar bikini covered? Well, we're getting to that. So when you take damage, right? So you're hit. Your attacker rolls the damage for their attack. Subtract your armor's soak points in that location. If they didn't target your head using an aim shot, this is always your body. Subtract any remaining damage from your hit points. Hey, it worked in Super Troopers Blood and Pavement. If you ended up taking any damage, your armor on that location is ablated, reducing its soak points by 1 until it is repaired. Ah. Pardon me. So, I moved and I shot 1 bullet. Your Kevlar bikini stopped it. I'm going to say it was your bikini top, okay? I move, but my gun has a 2 ROF, a 2 rate of fire. I finish moving, bang, and I get another shot off. What do I roll? Reflex plus skill. In this case, it's handgun. Reflex plus handgun plus D10. I moved closer to you, and I only needed a 13 to hit you this time for my second shot. I rolled a 10, and I get an extra roll. And so I actually hit a 25, or whatever, okay? Let's pretend I got a 25. Well, ultimately the bigger number doesn't matter. What matters is I hit you. I roll 2d6. Kablow, boxcars. 12 points of damage. Kapang! 12 points to the crotch, where your Kevlar bikini is covering up. Well, the good news is that 7 points of 12 have been soaked by your Kevlar bikini bottom. The bad news is that you just took 5 points of damage to your sub-bikini bits. And what does that mean? It means 5 points of damage are taken off of your hit points. If you have 35 hit points, congratulations, you have 30 hit points. And your armor has a hole in it. Now, depending on the gear you're packing, that could be a little embarrassing if something else happens with that. Yep, your armor has a hole in it, and your soak value is now 6 because it can't soak as much damage anymore. If you take 1 or 11 billion points of damage, your armor goes down by 1. Unless there's something else that, whatever your GM describes. We come back around in the initiative. Reflex plus D10. Bang! Bang! First one. I needed a 13. I rolled a 13. Oh, this isn't D&D. And so either the shot goes wild or kapang right off of the bikini top, okay? Second shot. I'm equilibrium this. As I'm flying off to the side. Second shot hits the string. The Kevlar string keeping your bikini top on, all right? It's only offering you 6 now. I hit. I rolled 8. Your bikini soaks 6. You take 2 more points, 2 hit points of damage. And if this was an anime, that would have your top go yee. You'd have to cover up when you're fighting. Now your bikini, your Kevlar bikini, and this is said in jest, right? I don't care, guys, girls, whatever. You wear your Kevlar bikini. Now it can only soak 5 points of damage. And then 4, and then 3. And you can see that your armor is damaged over time the more hits it takes. Right? It is quite literally, in this case, with a bikini bottom, saving your ass. However, it's going to start getting a hole worn into it if you get lit up too much. I hope that makes sense for you. Now, over time, you're going to lose hit points, right? As you take damage, you cross wound state thresholds, eventually becoming wounded in ways that impair your performance. Each new wound state replaces the effect of your previous wound state. You are lightly wounded if you are at less than full hit points. Nothing happens, but if you do need stabilization from something, the difficulty value is 10. Now, you are seriously wounded if you are at less than half hit points, rounded up. In D&D, at least in 4th edition, we used to call that the bloody value. You are bloodied at half or less hit points. You're seriously wounded at less than half hit points. You get a -2 to all your actions. Because look, you are hurting. There's stuff happening. You're mortally wounded if you have less than 1 hit point. That is 0 or -11 billion. And what happens? Consider the following. It takes a DV15 to heal back up to 1 hit point and to be unconscious. And you're dead after 1 failed death save. And there's no coming back from that, my friend. There's no revivify spell. There's no amount of clapping that's gonna bring you. In fact, it's done. There's no reincarnation. In D&D, you get a lot of flexibility when it comes to death and dying. You don't quite have as much here in Cyberpunk. Whenever 2 or more dice rolled for damage from a melee or range attack come up 6, you've inflicted a critical injury. A critical hit is not a guarantee that you have dealt critical damage. Remember, you're rolling to hit, and then you're rolling for damage. But a critical hit does not automatically confer critical damage. Okay? So there's things that circumstantially happen. I am going to leave you to read this, but if the more dice you're rolling on your weapon, the more chances 2 or more of those are going to wind up as a 6, and fun stuff happens. Also, Australis plays, that's what Trauma Team Platinum subscriptions are for. Is there any Ghost in the Machine style stuff where you can save yourself by uploading your mind to a PC somewhere? Conceptually, yes, that should exist, Kragar. I don't have intimate knowledge of that being a backup. So that would be something that I would talk to your GM about. This isn't like playing a game of Paranoia where you just have clones in a closet somewhere, and as soon as you mess up and you upset friend computer, they just zip out your next clone and you keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you don't run out of clones. There is a separate. Remember, if you take a called shot for the head, it is a -8. But if you hit, it's extra fun stuff happens. Death saves. Oh, in D&D, that's rolling a D20, right? At the start of each of your turns where you are mortally wounded, you must make a death save. Roll a D10. If you roll under your body score, oh yeah, that's a stat. Body. If you roll under your body score, okay, you live and can take your turn as usual. If you roll a 10, you automatically fail your death save. Every time you roll a death save, your death save penalty increases, meaning each future death save you roll is made with an additional +1, making it progressively harder to stave off death. This death save penalty continues to add up until you're brought back to 1 hit point by stabilization, where it resets to your base death save penalty, which can be increased by the nastiest critical injuries. If you fail even a single death save, you die. I'm not going to worry about vehicle combat tonight. That's not for tonight. But, you want to have some Mad Max fun? You can. If we take a look at our character here, his body score is not that high. If he falls into a state where he's mortally wounded, he better have someone who can stabilize him quick, because he would have to roll under his body in order to well, not die, but you can take your turn as usual. Otherwise, you're not taking your turn. But you keep rolling and rolling, and you keep bleeding out, and it's going to get tougher. Crunch indeed. Hello, Valendar. Thank you for joining us for this crunchy delve into Cyberpunk Red. Thank you very much for the re-up, too. So let's play around with this. We could do a real quick demo. All right, Craigar. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. So we have 2 edge runners here. Of course, we've met Grease. Grease here is a fixer. Has stats and skills. I'm not going to go over them all, because we're just going to be doing some basic stuff, okay? Like, there's a lot of stuff that's here. I'm not worried about leisure wear, mirror shades. We're really just going to be worrying about attacks. Okay? Pardon me. Okay. So we have Grease going first in initiative. Grease is going to take a shot. Grease is going to take a shot at Chandra. Or Chanda, I mean. Okay? Chanda Mishra. And we have her character sheet ready to go, too. I'm gonna move these off screen because we're gonna play with things and you can see things happen over here. And presuming that everything is connected and works correctly, presuming, let's make sure. We're going to have a very basic firefight between these two. Now, Grease is going to use his pistol and fire at Chanda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to presume that that they're on opposite sides, right? If we take a look for the pistol, the difficulty value to hit Chanda at 10 meters or 10 yards, depending on how you want to do it, is 15. He got a 21. Okay. Now, he had to hit a difficulty value because Chanda does not have a high enough reflex to be able to evade herself. She's just relying on distance. See how her reflex is 7? She didn't have an 8 to be able to try and do it herself. So, Grease hits. The pistol dealt 14 points of damage. 14 points of damage. And we're going to presume to her body, okay? And if you look, only 1/6 was rolled. So it wasn't a critical. Chanda's armor has a stopping power of 11. This means that 3 points of damage was dealt to Chanda. And because she took damage, her light armor jack armor is reduced by 1. Okay. We're keeping this super simple. We're not doing the move and shoot or whatever. Next, Chanda doesn't like being shot. And so what is she going to do? What can she do? Well, she is a bit of a brawler. She also is good at handguns. She has a very heavy pistol. And so she says, you know what? I'm getting out of here. And so she can move. She can move five squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in fact, she is going to double move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's Grease's turn. Grease can't interact with her because he does not have a line of sight to her through the rail car. And he's going to begin looking around at what happened. Where'd she go? Grease's move is also 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three, four, 5. Now, if he used, if he wanted to look around or use a skill to try and hear where she's at, he would not have been able to move that extra 5. So now, Chanda is going to stealth. She is going to try and be super sneaky. Now, the difficulty value, unless I as the GM assign a static one for some reason, or I assign a bonus like, you know what, there's a lot of ambient noise. Do you all hear the city? Remember us talking about immersion and background stuff? So, let's say that she is going to get a +1 circumstance bonus because of all of the noise in the train yard. So she actually has a 19. And this is going to be versus Grease's perception. So she beat that. She used a skill, which is an action, but she can still move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To try and stealth. In fact, we might even say that she's gonna be super sneaky. She's gonna start wedging herself here. Grease is going to hop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This lets him look over here. And this lets him look a little bit over here to see if she is anywhere. Now he can use his skill, but she has full cover. We're going over that. He moved, and he's perceiving. Now what's she gonna do? She's kind of squeezing through here, so that's the 2 for 1 that we were talking about, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, Chanda being very upset that her exec suit has a hole in it because of Grease. She has the drop on him. And she is going to just try and end this right here and right now. And we're going to say she wants to go for an aimed, like a called headshot. Do you all remember what was the negative for a called shot? It's a static number. Yep, -8. So, thinking she has the drop on Grease, she's raising her very heavy pistol. And kapow! An 11. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She would have needed a 15, but it looks like our exec's hubris got the best of her. Because not only she wouldn't have hit a normal shot, she only hit a 3. Because she was going for a called shot head. Grease turns around. It's his turn now. And is so and is so like disgusted that he let himself get outmaneuvered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He moves back, and he decides to end this here and now. And he does this not through a knife, not through a pistol, because there's one other form of combat in Cyberpunk. Do you know what that is? Well, I suppose, yeah. I mean, you could hack into each other's gear. There's a face down. Now, could you immediately go to a face down in the middle of a firefight? Maybe not. But look, I'm trying. I'm trying to have fun and incorporate this stuff, right? Because we didn't talk about net running, and I don't want to in this video. So could you hack or do something? You can. Ooh, I'm in the system. I'm in. Grease is going to hop up and T-pose on her for dominance. Reputation in Cyberpunk Red has another big effect. Face downs. A lot of combat in Cyberpunk Red comes down to a duel of wills. Who's tougher, meaner, and looks more ready to prove it. This often leads to what are called face downs, when two heavies on the street square off just before a fight, or to see who'll back down from a confrontation. The GM will call for a face down whenever they feel the scene calls for it. When making a face down, both participants will roll cool plus reputation plus 1d10. Now, cool plus reputation plus 1d10. Let's come back over. We're going to come back over to Grease. Grease has a cool of 6. And you know what? Grease got his name in the train tracks here. He's a fixer, and where do you think he gets his stuff? Out of the boxcars in the train yard. He knows how to get things. He's been around here before. He has a reputation, so he can speak with more confidence. His puns hit harder. His smackdowns, his yo mamas, his dirty dozens are gonna hit a little harder. Because in this area of the tracks, he has a reputation of 3. This is his turf. And so he's going to roll up, and he is just going to try and cow Chandra. Although I don't think I have just a straight up button for that. Well, all the same. Well, it's 6. That's our cool. We'll roll acting, and we'll do a. Like, I'd have to... I think you have to... You'd probably have to make this into its own separate line. But we can roll something that's just her straight up cool. Alright, so we'll count this as a wardrobe in style for purposes of Roll20 here. Or, I'm sorry, we're talking Grease. Grease has the 6 here. So it's 6 plus D10 plus, what did we say? 3. Let's go back to our game and find out how he did. 16. Okay. That's pretty fierce. Now let's go over to Chanda. Chanda also has a cool of 6. However, she doesn't have a reputation here. Now, could either of them spend luck? Yes, they could spend luck, but they don't have it on their sheet. We're not going to worry about it. But luck could be a part of this. And so she's either going to come back with a snappy reply, or she's gonna leave with her her tail tucked between her legs, kind of a thing. She will cower before the might of Grease. So we'll call this also wardrobe and style. Well, now she also got a 13, but remember, Grease has a reputation here. His reputation made him a little bit more fierce. He gives her quite the not the literal dressing down, but a dressing down. What are you doing here? Why are you shooting at me? Get out of here before my people come, or whatever. And in this case, the real Denethor. Oh, it's the real one. Thank you very much, Denethor. She says, fine. Maybe she drops her weapon. And she just backs away, and the fight is over. Yeah, hi. Now, Grease might come over and take that as the trophy. If any of you are going, well, that doesn't, I thought this is supposed to be a deadly system. What's up with that? Why can you just, why could you possibly end a fight before it starts? You need to understand, the people who live in this setting and this system understand how deadly it is. There's no clerics that can just cast, magic spells all the time. Many times, you gotta scrap for what you have, but people also don't want to die. Never discount this. As a player, to have the option to step up and square up on someone to get them to leave. That's why looking your best, talking the talk, using the lingo, building a reputation into the system, into the setting, is awesome. Because even a lot of booster gang members, they don't want to die. Yeah, you don't want to get damaged. It costs money to repair your armor, to replace your bullets, to get healed up, or to have to replace limbs that are lost in a fight. You're gambling with your life. That's also what makes people who are whacked out of their gourd on various drugs, or people who have succumbed to cyberpsychosis, that's what makes them so dangerous. They stop caring. About the only way to stop them is to actually have to fight them and put them down. In this case, we have a corpo who realizes that she has been completely outdone. Do you think a corpo wants to lose her comfy office job in a high tower somewhere? No. She's also already been shot. Grease obviously doesn't want to lose his business and his territory. And in fact, as soon as she scurries off, he's probably sitting on the bench just going, realizing that he could have died there. So in a deadly system like this, don't be afraid to invoke something like a face down. Not everything is just a battle where people just hit each other until they fall over. Will it come to that? Yes. Is it dangerous if you run across people who are willing to do that? Yes, very much so. But this is not D&D combat. As much as we did a fun little dance and we stealthed around and we used movement, there's not a druid, a bard, a cleric, anyone with a potion or a scroll to heal you. It's tough. You don't want to get into a fight if you can help it. And if one happens, what did we talk about taking cover? Try and take cover. Don't get shot at all. Or let the wooden crate take the hit for you, while you try and find out a way to distract, or to put down, or to just get out of there. Yeah. If she dealt, let's look at it again real quick. If she actually hit, now that was only 11, so actually, her hit. Oh, you know what? Yeah, she still wouldn't have hit because it was a cold shot. I mixed up the damage and the two hit. I was so caught up. I was so proud of myself that I set myself up to mess up. So she would have hit normally, but she got greedy and went for the headshot to try and end it. So she only would have hit a 10, but she needed a 15. That was my fault, everyone. If any of you are back there like, what's this guy talking about, 11? However, 11 would have been stopped by his armor, and his armor would not have been ablated because his light armor jack is 11. He would have taken 0 damage. His armor wouldn't have gone down, and it's the same thing, just in a slightly different circumstance. But yeah, Grease is probably even though he won, he's probably thinking my life could have ended there. She's throwing 4d6 and needs 2 6s to crit. And if she maxed out her damage, she'd be getting 24 damage, and that is minus 11, so 13 points of damage and a critical hit. If she maxed out, 13 points of damage is huge when you only have 35 hit points. He would almost be at the seriously wounded state and start taking negatives from that point forward. Grease had his life flash before his eyes and might still be shaking a bit, even though he won the face down with Chanda. Yeah, and it would have been a crit on the head. Oh, actually, so Dingo Panic, a crit on the head would have doubled the damage that got through the armor. So actually, he would be 13, that'd be 26. So yeah, if that happened, he would be almost dead, taking a critical hit. That was max damage in that case. Oh, Kitty Bird, thank you. So hopefully this makes sense, and you got to see a little bit of a live demonstration of how this can work, how combat works. The Roll20 has that baked in, although I'm going to have to explore a little bit more about a face down in Roll20. There may not be an automatic button for that. Although, given how potent it is as the third form of combat, you have ranged, melee, and face downs. That should definitely be a part of things. But stat, skill, D10 versus a fixed number or a stat, skill, D10. And you learned how armor works. You learned about map movement. And I hope that this was super helpful for you all. Now, did you all have any particular questions about things that we covered or something that came up? If you had another question on something about how something works or a situation like what we're finding these characters in here. Miara, you enjoyed this? It can always seem like there's a lot. Don't let it overwhelm you. Handle things one at a time, and my recommendation is set up fun little encounters like this. Take 2 characters, put them in a setting, and just try out grabs and throws. Try out weapons. Try out armor. Try out critical hits. Just treat them like you got 2 little figures. I don't like you. Well, I don't like you too. Right? Have your book open at the side, and then just try this out. Melee is different. You use Dex instead of Reflex as the stat. And in Melee, the defender almost always gets to have an opposed roll. In Ranged, you're almost always trying to hit a particular difficulty value unless someone has a Reflex stat of 8 or greater and can choose to try and dodge out of the way instead of just accepting the difficulty value for weapon and range. There were some martial arts that just needed to hit a difficulty value for an effect. Think kind of like how monks in D&D will force a con save for something to, like, an extra effect to land. All right. Were there any other questions from you all? Or would any of you like to get a prize capsule? Either the snack bowl or the main course. There's still plenty of amazing stuff in there for you all. I hand-packed them all, and I'm just as excited to see you pull them as I hope you would be. No, we didn't get into the smaller things, Dingo, because I wanted to... we can't grapple and we can't do quick stuff like that without understanding the basics. Now, what we can do, because next week we're going to be building characters together in the workshop. We're going to start with a blank character sheet, and if we make a character that will hack or do martial arts or grapple, We'll get into that when we make our characters. Yep, no problem asking. It's just it's almost 4 a.m. already, and I don't want to go over every little part of combat. You know, just we're taking baby steps, and we can handle it as we make characters next week too. Yep. All right, then. What we're going to do, everyone, because I need to get something to eat, and I would really like to try and be asleep before 5 a.m. if possible, because I have a busy Saturday ahead of me. So hopefully it didn't sound like I was rushing, but I do need to make sure I get sleep, because tomorrow is not a day of rest or peace. I'm going to go take us into a raid. We're going to go raid Kagome's Fury. Kagome is currently painting up Princess Zelda, so it is some miniature painting and chill. Kagome is definitely a friend of the channel here. Let's go find out what she has going on. If you are on our Discord, I'll be on our Discord for a bit too. That's where that's the central area for our events. Please do join us there. And if you have other questions and such, we could talk about it in the RPG workshop. That's in the mentoring section, in the mentoring category of our Discord. So if you want to get into more detail, we can talk about it there too. It's not just for D&D. All right, let's go see what Kagome's up to. Check out her version of Princess Zelda. I'll be up for a little bit, everyone. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be at the store, and we're going to be closing out the second wave of Floblins for Adopt-A-Gob, and I'm going to be handing out a 16-inch plush Tiamat to the winner of the false Tiamat coloring event on our Discord. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I look forward to your all's participation and support. Have a good night.
I'll be there for that stream. It's gonna be sick.